Now we have recording in progress. I forgot to hook up my mic. I have donned my tin hat today to address something that I've got so many tangents going on in my head right now. It's kind of ridiculous. But I've been having some kind of political-ish discussions. And I've been watching the youngsters online. Okay. And some of the youngsters online are very intelligent. They're amazing, really thinking outside of the box and really starting to question things. And I am so proud. I really am. And then there are some that are really having a hard time with this, just having a hard time. And I'm trying to address some of these issues because these are questions that we've all had. You know, we've all struggled through this. Everybody in the tin hat movement, whether you've been in here for a long time and you have a fabulous hat like mine, or you're, a tin hat baby who's just getting started or just realizing, but not wanting to admit that your parents weren't as crazy as you thought they were. Okay. And that's kind of, yeah, that's where we're going to start today. So I am going to pull up. Let's see. Share. I am going to pull up this. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. This fun thing popped up. I think my son sent it to me because a lot of people were seeing this. Okay. Um, Musk. I really think if you watch this, let's see. If you watch this, and I don't know if this one shows it, um, I mean, does that not look a little familiar right in there? I think this was a, a particular, I think there was something going on here. I don't think it was what they said it was in the first place. But anyway, he had this, and I'm like, okay, all right. So I go down to the comments, which I hardly ever do. Okay, I hardly ever go to the comments. I try to stay out of the comment section. I let Emmy over at Manor Manor handle the comments for me because I do not usually handle them very well. But there's this gal who is paying. This little blue check mark here means that this person pays the platform on any of the platforms, pays the platform to be able to write books in people's comments. Okay. Like it's called a verification. She's verified and she pays a certain amount a month to be able to have that lovely blue check mark. She's X Truth Talks. I don't know why she put the X there, but and she's like, oh, respect our differences. Anyway, I'm curious. She is very respectful about this curiosity. If we truly live under a dome, who put it there? Okay, that right there, I don't even need to read the rest of the book. Okay, I can answer that question. Um, and we've had whenever I answered it, there was only one other person who answered it. Native Texan, who also pays for the check mark to do really long comments in other people's posts, left a very simple comment: God. Okay. Um, and I don't even know how to pronounce this. Briella. I'm probably saying it wrong. I do apologize. She said I wasn't asking about God. Okay, let us go back to the question again. I'm curious. If we're truly under a dome, who put it there? Answer. God. I wasn't asking about God. Okay, okay, sweetheart. And I'm like, and this is where I start. But honey, and I mean that in the sweetest possible way. Whenever somebody calls me honey, I always take it as a compliment. I always listen to the person. And because I like it when people call me by endearment. So if they call me dear, honey, sweetie pie, whatever, I like it. Okay. So this is not, talking down to anybody. This is me. But honey, God is the answer we have. If you really want an answer, read the first book of Enoch. It explains everything and it answers all of your questions. Okay. I've actually read all the books, she says. Well, first book of Enoch is fascinating and dives into the mysteries of God's creation. It actually goes beyond the idea and describes multiple levels of heaven and intricate movements of and it kind of does, but it almost sounds like she's quoting Dante's Inferno here instead of the Book of Enoch. Okay. I mean, the Book of Enoch is, but it does do the intricate movements, and it talks, yeah, but it makes me think. She says here, you want to use God as your answer, but disregard the Bible and what God actually is. Okay. What? Let's see. Enoch's vision emphasized the complexity and greatness of God's creation, which aligns much more with infinite expanse in modern astronomy, which I don't agree. The Book of Enoch talks about a closed system. I think you're talking about maybe Dante's Inferno or something, but because that's not how the Book of Enoch. Maybe it's been a little bit since she read it. I don't know. Anyway, how can you sit here saying you believe in God, yet throw out everything that has been said about him and the faith? I didn't throw out anything. I said God is the answer that we have. I didn't throw anything out. Okay, so anyway, I get beyond all of this. Okay. All right. I said I absolutely do believe everything he is and has created. The flat earth clock is a great model of how time works. It's like a yin yang because she asks, oh, about the clock and how does she's asking here, go to the ocean, sail around. I live in California right now, but in Egypt it's this. How does that work? Being day here and night in Egypt if the earth is flat. And I'm like, hey, um, the flat earth clock has a great model, but do I check it out? Because I'm limited. See, I don't have that little blue check mark. So I can't write a thesis for her to answer her questions. And I don't feel a need to because other people have done this work. And so she goes about in her paid ability to be able to write another book and to explain to me things that I have never seen before. Oh my goodness. Um, wow. Wow. If you need proof, I didn't ask for proof. She was the one asking questions. I didn't ask for proof, but I mean, I've never seen any of this before. Right. And I said, you don't want answers, do you? You don't think anything anyone says or does will give you I don't think anything anyone says or does will give you the answer that you want. What is really your question? When you ask why people believe something, then you're set on disagreeing those beliefs. You aren't convincing anyone to believe differently. I'm just stating fact here, okay? She says, I'm not basing my belief on what I was taught. Is that what I said? Is that what I said? I said, I didn't say she was basing her beliefs on what she was taught. Somebody else might have, because there were other people starting to comment at this point in the conversation. I've looked at the moon and Mars through my own telescope. Okay, so my, are you assuming none of us have a telescope? And she asks here, here's a question for you. Explain how a rainbow forms a circle if the earth is flat. And any of us in this movement that have been here very long, we know that there are a ton of videos out there, some of them with children creating rainbows, circular rainbows in closed system environments. Yeah. And I'm just like, are you assuming none of us have a telescope? Rainbows are refracted light and can be created in closed systems. A few, and she said, let's see, blah, 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 blah. Okay, but that doesn't invalidate centuries of study and observable science. It's fine to have your own belief, but don't get upset when others present facts and don't instantly agree. Look into terms like belief, perseverance, and confirmation bias. Self-awareness is key. Take care. Oh, isn't she sweet? And I'm like, are you assuming none of us have a telescope? Rainbows are refracted light and can be created in closed systems. A few centuries of study doesn't invalidate millenniums of study and observations. You are the one typing like you're upset that was supposed to be upset. I only attempted to give you an answer. So this whole thing has just exhausted me because she's been disrespectful. She is mad typing. She's paid to be able, she has paid for that little blue check mark to be able to mad type in other people's comments. The information that she is giving is information that I was given in grade school. All of us were. We were all taught this. I taught it to my children before I came to what I believe is the truth now. I am not trying to be disrespectful to her. I am simply trying to answer a few questions, right? In my limited, non-paying, cheapskate capacity, because I don't want to pay Elon Musk to be able to write, you know, book thesis comments in other people's comment sections. So, you know, yeah, how would you guys answer? Or would you? Would you even take the time to answer any of this? Because the things that she's asking, I mean, she's observed. We've observed. You guys have seen. Paul has had video of various stars and planets through his P900. We have several telescopes in our family. I've written a book on the constellations and published it. So, I mean, she's assuming that this decades or centuries of study and observable science has only been available to her, and that all of us have not had access to any of that and have not had access to, telescopes and stuff. And just in that we're not belief, perseverance, and confirmation by I mean, really? I this is like, whenever I was in grade school and we would, what does this mean? Go look it up, right? I was raised with that. I was raised with the if you don't know what something means, go look it up. And if you don't know what it means, don't say it type of thing. That's how I was raised. So I look up words and I not only look them up, I look up the etymology, I find out how it's been used over the centuries. I You guys know that. I look up, if it's biblical study, I look up the lexicon, not just the Strong's Concordance. Somebody was putting in one of my comments recently, my comment section recently about strong being, what strong was. That's why I look up the whole lexicon. I look up not just that concordance. There is more than one concordance. I don't have access to original documents, and I don't speak, read, or write Hebrew or Greek or Latin, you know? So I'm doing the best I can with what I've got, but I'm not just looking it up on Strong's. Okay. I understand who he is and what he's done and blah, blah, blah. And I've had that conversation with Shelley off camera. We had that conversation before she posted her video about it. So I mean, she's got a great video. If you don't know what it's about, go look that up in her older videos. So, you know, it frustrates me. Like I said, the young people who are questioning things and getting out, and trying to look into things and having legitimate conversations, I appreciate. I really do. Um, but and honestly, all she would have to do is go scroll through Banjo's stuff, Eddie's, because he's constantly posting from TikTok videos from the young people who are doing these experiments and going over these very things that she's asking about. So it is available. It's absolutely available. And she's not going to believe me. And she's not going to take anything that I say, right? But I don't think she would take them either, because she's automatically discrediting anybody who doesn't agree with her in the mainstream narrative. She's not even trying to. Well, that's a really neat, I've read all the books. I mean, did you see that? She's read all the books. I've actually read all the books. Okay. Okay. Um, Great. Then why are you asking questions then? And especially questions you don't want answers to, because you have very obviously made up your mind what you believe, and that's fine. I have also made up my mind what I believe. The difference, I think, here is that I am still teachable. I'm not being too dogmatic about a whole lot right now, other than us flying, spinning through space and still seeing the same constellations today that people saw millennia ago. I'm pretty adamant that that's not possible. Okay. And if you think that it is, that's okay. I'm okay with you believing that we're living on a banana if you want to. I'm all right with that. Um, I have, it does not bother me at all that you believe something different, and that I like the last few centuries of science, um, so-called, because I'm taking the last few centuries of scientific study and kind of throwing it out the window, because until the 1800s, a majority of people still believed that we were living on a plane. Um, Trains and planes are still using technology and basing their GPS and everything off of a flat and stationary plane. The CIA has documents saying, and the military saying, how they base everything, aeronautics and everything, off of a flat plane. So, if you want to, believe what you want to believe. And I'm sure you're a very intelligent young lady. And I'm sure also that, being the very intelligent young lady who believes what you believe, that you think that I'm stupid, because I've been called stupid so many times through this, honestly. And, I'm in good, I'm in good company because I know people with multiple PhDs who agree with me and who believe the same thing that I believe. So I don't think it's a matter of intelligence or lack thereof as far as this and many other things. Um, it just is what it is at this point. It's something that could be a lot of fun to discuss back and forth if somebody just really wanted to have the discussion, but they don't. And once you see, you can't unsee. So I've been where you were at. I believed what you believe. I was taught what you were taught, and I saw what you saw. I I know that's hard to believe, but that's where it is. And I feel that way about the new witches. Most of the new witches have no idea what witchcraft is really about. I've been there. I know what it's about. And they don't want to believe that because they were in churchianity and they they've been they think they've been where I am. But the thing is, I'm not where they were and never have been because I wasn't raised in the church. I don't go to church. I have gone to church, but I've been kicked out of two churches. Seriously. So, because I want Bible, okay, and I want to live Bible, and that's uncomfortable for even the churchianity people. So, anyway, I need to kind of get this off my chest because this isn't an area that it's not. I'm trying to stay in my lane. I'm trying to figure out what my lane even is, guys. But this is something that really kind of bothers me. I've had several things here lately that have been kind of bothering. But this is, I'm trying to have just a basic conversation with this person. And I've been encouraging a lot of people to read the Book of Enoch lately, whether you're a Bible believer or not. Read the Book of Enoch. It is fascinating. And whether you believe in it's really hard to put the cosmology and the Book of Enoch together, but it's fascinating and it's a lot of fun. So, maybe she just needs to read it again. And but it does say in the Bible that nobody comes to him unless they are called. So, and he is the only one who can remove the scales off people's eyes and ears. So, Yeshua was consistently saying, those who have the ears to hear and eyes to see, you know, he was consistently saying that. And there's a reason why he was saying it. So, if you really want truth and if where you are isn't a comfortable place for you, and if you're feeling a need to pay to leave thesis in other people's comment sections, then maybe you need to pray and ask for the scales to be removed so that you can see what he has for you to see. And maybe it's not the same thing that I see, and that's okay. Doesn't mean that your thought process is going to completely change or that your view of the world is going to be different. Because there are people who I totally believe love him and are not in the same place that I'm at. We don't all grow from the same ground and we're not all in the same place. We're and if you become part of the body, then the pieces of the body don't all do the same, look the same, or act the same. The toe and the pinky finger do not have the same thing that they're doing. The knee and the elbow are not doing the same thing, right? So, anyway, okay, don't need to rant over. I'll see if I can get another video that'll be more entertaining for you up this week. We will hopefully let us carry on now. I just to know the whole social media thing that happened yesterday. If you're tired of social media, I have my own platform, and it's not censored and it's not owned by any of those other companies. So, you know, uh, join us if you would like.